The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority says flight delays or cancellations cannot be averted due to unforeseen circumstances, but there is a plan in place to improve on the communication gap between operators and passengers. This is coming from Mr. Sam Adroboye, the spokesman of NCAA.
In flight operations, there is no way you can rule out flight delays, cancellations, or sometimes rescheduling. The reason being that sometimes it is just necessary, and we will even support them. If, for example, it's a technical hitch, you want to pick up your flight, and the flight crew observe there is a snag, meaning that there is a problem that needs to be fixed. The law says fix it before going. We will support them on that. If, for example, the weather is suddenly becomes adverse, it's a no-go by our law. The same thing anywhere in the world. Weather, because the aircraft is built to fly in a stable atmosphere, clear weather. That is the aerodynamics of aircraft. But the moment there is changes in the weather that have become adverse, let me use that word, then of course the atmosphere becomes unstable for aircraft. So that's why I say no-go. They don't negotiate that. In fact, even if they violate, we view it seriously. So when they comply to these, by either suspending or cancelling or rescheduling or delay, we back them up. Now, where we will frown at is that when this happens, communicate it on time to your passengers. When this happens, sometimes it may happen far ahead of time, because weather moves at interval. And by law, the flight crew are expected to obtain the weather information ahead of flight. When you obtain the weather information, you're going to have an idea of the weather en route, the weather at the destination. If it's not good, you don't go. And what do you do as an operator? You advise your passengers ahead of that time. International flight require, for example, you get to airport 3 hours ahead of time, so that you'll be able to go through all this immigration, the traveling formalities. And as a result of that, once somebody has gone through all this, you confirm, you book, you check it in, and there is a need not to go. It's your responsibility. It's an international flight. It might have come from a far place. He has no place to go. Put them in a hotel. That is what the regulation says. But if it's a local flight, domestic within the country, 1 hour to get to the airport to go through the formalities, if you have checked them in before this development arises, then of course there are options given. You have to be talking to them. 2, you either offer some incentives as a compensation. When a passenger has complaint, the first protocol is to go to the airline. It's not to go to NCAA, even though we have staff there that are equally giving us independent report. It's not NCAA that a passenger will go to as the first port of call. You go to the airline, who you pay to, that are having their ticket. It is the airline. It is when they are unable to solve your problem, or you are dissatisfied, then you come to NCAA. I don't think that passengers in Nigeria, because of whether illiterate or literate, are flying. I don't think people want to believe that it's not a lawless system. Things are guided. And we have tried as much as possible to make our presence visible at the airport, particularly the major ones, major gateway. We are present in all the airport, but the major gateway run 24 hours operation. Our staffs, consumer protection, are there 24/7. Even on Sundays, they do shift. Now, we have our offices counter right at the departure, right in front of the passengers there, clearly marked with our color, with the banners, with the point of sale hang all over the place. And in any case, we don't even wait for them to just come, even though there are so many things inviting them to come. But the staffs are even standing by each airline that are boarding or arriving. They are there. So they witness whatever is going on, they give report. If you lodge your complaint and they didn't get back to you in 24 hours, wherever you're based in Nigeria, go on air, challenge us. Because we are getting accommodations, we are getting people, and if you get an airline that is doing it right without being, not at prompting, we do give them accommodation also. The issue is that sometimes people just don't want to take advantage. We have penalized foreign airlines not long ago, where they have to put people in the hotel, where bringing them from hotel the next day for their flight, where they have to made them to write an apology letter with $300 each for passenger. It's not budgeted for. It's a loss to the airline, but they did. Once there is a violation, and it is, the first thing we do is that once the report comes from the various directories as applicable to, then we have a legal department, a very strong one at that. In every of our audit, they go 100% pass. They will issue what they call LOI, letter of investigation. That is what the law says.
The management of Caverton Offshore Support Group has added 11 new helicopters to its fleet. Frontiers of the business community, including executives in the oil and gas, finance, aviation, royal fathers and government, joined officials of Caverton for the unveiling of the new birds. But how did Caverton get here?
We have invented an airline that has a high asset productivity and highly motivated employees. We are becoming famous for running an efficient, reliable, on-time operation on all our contracts. We have an award-winning formula, a brand for customer service that is becoming famous for friendly hospitality.
Caverton has built a record of safety and has now partnered Bell Helicopters for machines capable of operating in extreme climates.
The places and the atmospheres and the environments that you'll operate these aircraft are tough, but with the support and with the resources that you have in place, you will be successful in bringing and being successful for Chevron.
The company accounts for about 80% of aviation logistics, with a recent expansion to carry out service for NNPC Chevron at the Escravos area. Another reason for the acquisition of these 11 helicopters.
The determination from him is really what brought about this, and his determination to excel in whatever he's doing.
Young people are now realizing their dreams with me monitoring them and ensuring that we do the right thing with safety and ensuring that the service is properly given.
When deployed from April the 1st, 800 passengers will be airlifted daily. There will be 40 to 60 takeoffs and landing amounting to about 100 to 130 hours. Federal Aviation Authority has formally commenced the certification of Kano International Airport in areas of apex and safety activities. FAN's Director of Airport Operations, Captain Rabiu Yadudu, led a team of technical advisors from Airport Council International in Canada to observe and identify areas that meet international aviation safety measures.
ACI has to offer in terms of safety and books. As a member is free, so we can have access to all of these.
Yes, sir. After a presentation to staff of Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, representatives of the ACI Africa, Mr. Rashid Takurdin, confirms that the airport is one of the safest in Nigeria and Africa by extension.
It's an endorsement from the organizations, ICAO and ACI, that this airport is safe, efficient and secure. We are auditing it because if we do the audit successfully, we are going to make sure we close all the open items they've identified. We already did a similar program in Lagos and Abuja, so we are doing it again here. So from the experience we gained doing those other airports, we are very confident that this will be much faster and smoother to accomplish.
ACI, Airports Council International, we are represented in 48 of the states in Africa, and most of the states in Africa are members of ACI. All the international airports are members. FAN, Federal Airports of Nigeria, as well as the Nigerian government, has been a significant contributor towards aviation safety. If you would recall, a few years ago, ministers of civil aviation from all the African states met in Abuja, where we've signed the Abuja Declaration, committing countries to safety in Africa, particularly in the aviation field. Nigeria has produced some excellent leadership in this area.
When we return from the break, Australia's flag carrier airline Qantas launches the first non-stop service from Canberra to Europe. Please stay with us.